Hi everyone, welcome to my advanced bow guide to the Safi'Jiiva Siege. We got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. The goal of this guide is to teach you how to do a P1 R15. This means killing Safi in one round and breaking every part, including the tail. Safi'Jiiva raw hit zone values are very low. Contrary to what the Hunter's Note says, is equally weak to every element. The reason Dragon has 3 stars in the Hunter's Note is not because it does more damage, it does the exact same amount of damage. It has 3 stars because it applied the Elder Seal status, and I'm going to touch on that later. I'm going to show you my build for every area, and I'm going to explain why I use those builds. However, since the raw hit zone values are so low, you will not be able to use weakness exploits, so you can take that out of your build, and we're going to be using the Safi set bonus to increase the affinity. Before I get started and we go through each area one by one, I need to explain how Safi's energy mechanic works and how his drain mechanic works. I'm not going to go too much in details because it would take the whole video, but I will link in the description a document that I made that explains this mechanic in details with numbers and precise data. But basically what you need to know is that Safi has an energy level and the room has a separate energy level. Safi will expend his own energy by attacking, but also by getting flinched, knocked down, CC'd. Pretty much every interaction expends his energy. When his HP reaches a threshold, he will always drain. He always drains at the same time and heal the same amount of health. When he drains, he will heal himself, but he will also pull energy out of the room to replenish his own energy level. The amount of energy he pulls from the room depends on how much health he has during the drain and how much energy he has at the time of the drain. He will only leave the area if the room has been completely drained out of energy. Now about Elder Seal. When Elder Seal procs, you will see a blue aura coming out of Safi, and when it procs, he will lose a huge chunk of energy out of his own energy level. Since he loses a lot of energy, he will drain more energy from the room on the next drain. This makes it easier to empty the room's energy level with a minimal amount of drains. For precise numbers, please check my spreadsheet in the description. You will be able to see exactly how valuable Elder Seal is. But to make it short, I strongly recommend to keep all Elder Seal weapons for Area 3 only. Area 1 is really fast. It should take about a minute 30 or less. The goal in that area is to break both wings and the back. You will perform what's called the A1 boulder skip, and I have a video on my channel that precisely explains how to do it. You want to start focusing on the left wing as soon as the fight starts. You will be using blast cutting to break the first wing and push him in the vines. That is why Area 1 is the only area where I use full Safi set, because it boosts the efficiency of your blast cuttings. I have a video on my channel that shows how to do it precisely, but you only need 6 blast procs to break the first wing. By the time you break the wing, it will fall in the vine trap. When in the vine trap, you can focus the left hind leg for damage. The key to this skip is to drop the boulder at the right time when Safi is getting up. When he falls over, his right wing is going to be on the floor and you can easily focus it. Right after this, you can focus the back. And as soon as the back breaks, you can actually leave. If you did the skip correctly, Safi will drain and leave, so you don't have to stay. The damage you do will not carry over to the next area. As a bow player for Area 2, you will not be focusing on breaking parts. This is a damage race, and you need to focus on doing as much damage as possible. This is why this is the only area where I do not have Path Breaker. In area 2 and 3, I use a mix of Safi and Velkhana because that's what does the most damage. Without weakness exploits, you will only get up to 70% affinity. That is why I use Latent Power 3. It gives you an extra 30% affinity, so you get to 100. Latent Power has a pretty good uptime on Safi because it lasts for 2 minutes and it only takes about 30 seconds to proc again. In this phase, as a bow player, your only goal is to do damage and you will stick to both hind legs. You're going to break them naturally, but if you see that the leg is not broken, you can start focusing it. Don't forget that the upper part of the legs is what takes the most damage. So try to always shoot the upper part and not the feet. The only thing you need to know about this phase is that in order to only get 2 drains, which is the minimum amount of drains in a P1, you need to flash one of his novas. I recommend flashing the second nova because then some of the damage you do will carry over to area 3. In area 2, Safi will drain at 50% HP and he will heal for 14,000 health, which is about 35% of his health. To summarize area 2, the only thing you need to focus on is damage and make sure that both hind legs are broken. Area 3 is by far the most complicated phase and the hardest one. The rate at which it drains the room's area is halved. That is why it feels like it drains way more often and way more in area 3. Exactly 1 minute after Safi reaches area 3, it's going to turn super critical. Your goal in that time is to do as much damage as possible. So once again, to do the most damage, you will focus on the hind legs. Remember that for bow, when you try to do the most damage, you have to focus the hind legs always. As soon as Safi turns super critical, your job as a bow player is to break the chest. The easiest way to do damage to the chest, to Safi, is when he's down, so either a mount, a KO, or a flinch. When he's down, you want to be dashing into his wrist to hit the chest. His hand doesn't actually have a hitbox, so you will only be hitting the chest. The second best option is during a paralysis. Just be mindful during a paralysis, you have to stand on his left side because his chest will turn towards the left side. As you can see on this clip, we changed a mount and a paralysis, and the chest broke in about 25 seconds. However, if you can finish off the chest outside of the paralysis, you will get a knockdown because of it, so try to do that. At this point, all you have to do is focus on damage, and if the head is not broken, you can focus the head when Safi is down. Keep in mind that for reward 15, you only need to break one foreleg, so your team should be focusing on only one foreleg. If this foreleg has not been broken yet, you can start focusing it as well. The thing to know about Safi in this area is that his novas are on a timer. 1 minute exactly after he turns super critical, he's gonna try to do a nova. You can delay this nova with CC, but after a minute exactly, he will try to perform a nova. After this nova, he's going to lose super critical state, and once again, you have to wait another minute to regain super critical. And yeah, you guessed it, after he's super critical again, a minute after this, he's gonna try to do another nova. He will keep on doing this loop until he's almost dead and out of energy. In fact, when Safi is 30% health and has no more energy to drain, he will enter the skull near death state. In this state, it will always be supercritical, and if it's not supercritical at this time, it will immediately get supercritical. In this state, it will do a nova every 30 seconds, so it's critical that you kill him as fast as possible. On the topic of double nova, you have to be very careful that you not cancel this move. This move that you see on the screen creates rocks to hide behind. If you flinch it, it's not gonna create rocks, and the next nova that now comes every 30 seconds will wipe your team. When you see him do it, you need to stop shooting right away. Also, to avoid this move, because I see a lot of people getting hit by it, you have to stand outside of the explosion, and as soon as the ring in front of you explodes, you have to roll back in. If you do flinch this move by accident, you still have an option to survive though. You can quickly flash him out of his nova and farcast right away. He will do the nova again, but hopefully your whole team will be out. At that point of the fight, Safi is almost dead, so if you broke everything you wanted, just try to finish him off. In Area 3 as a bow player, you will not be able to help with the tail at all, so you have to count on your teammates to do a good job at cutting the tail. You also have to count on your light bowgun player to do all the CC, so the sleep and the paralysis. You can get the flash and eventually a mount, but that's about it. If you did the A1 skip correctly and you did good damage in Area 2, you should have between 12 and 14 minutes left for Area 3 only. So it's definitely doable even if you take your time. Just make sure you communicate with your teammates so they tell you when they're going to CC Safi or what part they're going to focus next on. I hope this guy helped a little, and please if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section.